Okay, we're ready.
Good morning, guys. Saturday, 10 a.m. A little different, huh? The world's changed in 24 hours, at least financially wise. Okay, how everything was nice and smooth. The 10:40 up to 10:45 yesterday was saying to yourself, "Good, I'm on the ride. It's on the way up." Little news comes out, which is only news at 11 a.m. Okay, about the president saying there's a little friction between him and China, which is serious tariff problems, not global tariff problems. If there's a tariff problem with India or certain countries, fine. It's like a little top. But when it's China, it's head to head. It's a face off. So what happens? The market switches and it adjusts. The thing that we've been talking about is the market is so saturated, comfortable, and long. So that's why it's a little impacted. What we're going to go over today, what we're going to go over later on TikTok also, is how you got to adjust. Okay? You cannot have the same opinion of trading before 11 a.m. yesterday that you can at 11:01. And then after the close, the president came out and actually put numbers on it, which is even a little more scarier to the market. So what do you say to yourself yesterday as market closes? Do I really want to be all in? You only had a few hours to make that decision. And most people said, all right, you know what? It's going to go down. It's going to bounce. It's going to mean nothing because that's what's been working. That's fine. I understand that. But what happens if it doesn't bounce this time? Okay. And in my opinion is, I don't think it's going to bounce. I think it's going to correct. And this is the beginning. And the scary part is the news, which put numbers to it, came out after the market closed. So now you got a Sunday night coming in. You have the Asian markets that didn't get a chance to adjust. We have Columbus Day where the market is kind of a little emptier. It's a bank holiday. It's not a financial holiday. And the market is probably going to come in with a little more nervousness than it did at 4 p.m. because they're already nervous from what happened. That's what we want to talk about today. How to make adjustments. How do you make money in these kind of markets? Everybody made it on the way up. Everybody knows how to make money on the way up. That's just the way the public is. But what happens when it turns? And we think it's turned. And now you say to yourself, that's okay. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. But if it does not happen, then you go from waiting to being uncomfortable, to being a little nervous, to be a little impulsive, and then you might have a panic. That's what I think is close if we don't have a bounce by the middle of the week. Okay, I'm just going to show you a couple of charts. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I want you to think about this, okay? Because think about it. This is the examples I want to bring to you. Now I'm just giving you the indexes. We don't trade these, but I'm using this gauge. This is the NASDAQ, okay? So the NASDAQ, the whole ride up, how cool it is. And now it came, look how fast this is. So every line is a day. So what is that? Maybe 10, 15, wait, go back. It's about 20 trading days. So what you made over the 20 trading days, you gave all the way back. Okay, try not to look at that because that's what's going to tell you, well, beautiful, it's okay, it's going to go here, I'm going to buy, and it's going to go right back up. All right. The thing is, people, when it goes over here and they say, listen, if it goes down here, I'm going to buy. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, am I going to buy this Monday morning? No, now you're going to get a little tentative. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is this. Let me do this correctly. When the market was here, which is where it is right now, okay, that was the beginning of September. What a great ride. Now, if you said, you know what, maybe I'm going to take some profits, okay, that would have been fine, not knowing this is coming. So now that came, and now you're still at the area where you say, maybe I should take profits, but you say to yourself, no, because it came down, I'm going to wait. This is the emotional side of trading. You have to watch yourself here. You have to say to yourself, I was going to do it here. It's still here. Forget this. Why am I not doing it here? Because of this. And in my opinion this is what makes people say, I want to stay in the game. In my opinion this is what makes people, what you should be saying, I want to get out of it a little quicker. Because look at all these people that are trapped. And this was nice and quiet, just like this. Okay, so my opinion is these people are comfortable. They immediately became very uncomfortable in less than a half a day. That's just the NASDAQ. Look at some of the stocks that have pulled back. Okay, now if you've been following us, we're short stocks. Okay, we've been bearish since the end of August, and I've been wrong the whole way. Okay, but I didn't get short until the last week or 2 weeks. So now I'm actually short. Bearish is one thing, because you know what bearish means on a market that's going up? I lost opportunity costs of catching some other longs. But then I put my money to work getting short, and now they're starting to kick in. So I'm saying to myself, I put my position on, but everybody else is still all in, 100% in, looking to jump in, and now they got hit with this curveball. I don't think they want to be all in anymore. and they have to make a decision because they didn't have a chance to sit down, evaluate, and say, I want to trim, because it happened on a Friday. Okay? We preach this, and if you belong to our classes, you'll understand that the calendar is very important when it comes to trading, not investing, when it comes to trading. And we're not investors, we're traders. That's why we're holding up okay. We're going to show you that. Okay, so this is the point. Now, you know we're short a few stocks. Been following us, you know we were short Alibaba. How cool is that? And you want to know something? After the close, when the president came out with the real numbers, that's going to be lower. See, it goes up fast, and we had said when it goes down, it's going to go down fast. And actually, when it moves up like this, it goes down faster. So how cool is it to have some of these on? We have that on. We have Baidu on. We're short Baidu. Look at this, and that's going to be lower. All that work gone in a little time. We short some financials, and we missed an opportunity because we had a spot to get short some JP Morgan, which we already caught a short on it. We wanted to do it again. If anything, I had the chance, I just dropped the ball. Okay? It went to the spot where I could have got short again, and I didn't. We did catch a short last week on it, but that looks like bad. Well, we are short. We're short Bank of America. Been following us. You know we've had this on for a few weeks now. Now it's starting to kick in. So the shorts are here. You know what's even better? The longs we had on, we got out. Okay, we've been on the bandwagon on platinum, palladium, gold, and silver, especially lately, platinum and palladium. So we cashed in on a home run trade, and we had said, listen, guys, we think the same name can be a second home run. And it was. Remember, if you watch us in futures, we had palladium on. We sold up palladium also. This has been a home run trade twice this year. We bought palladium down here. We sold it up here, put it right back on here, and sold it right here. So talk about a home. It's 2 home runs. We had 2 home runs in palladium. People don't even know what palladium is. I just happen to follow because I've been doing it for how many decades. You give people 3 chances to spell palladium, they don't even know what it is. If it's gold, if it's silver, they know. But look at that. And now I think it can pull back, and we'll try it again. So our home run stock trade of the year, we wound up catching it twice. And it's the same thing. It's a platinum and palladium trade. If you follow me at all, you know the 4 letters I always speak about, SBSW. Well, this is SBSW. Okay, if you remember, we were all in here. We sold it all out here, reloaded the entire position here, sold it all out this week. We have no SBSW on. So this was work, this was gaps. If you look, it's the same thing. 3 and change to 9 and change, 7 and change to 12 and change. Still made $5 on a $3 stock. So think about it. This was a $3 stock at the beginning of the year. We've made $10 on it, and we're out of it now. So we're cashing in. So that's my point is, even though we're getting short, you're cashing in. And now if you get these washouts, we're going to look to put it right back on. Some of these stories are not going away. We don't think precious metals are going away, but you got to know when to avoid the pockets. And the pockets meaning in this kind of environment, if we happen to be right next week, then it's risk off everywhere. People are trimming. People are buying gold, they're buying silver, they're buying platinum because they're making money somewhere else. Now you're not making money somewhere else, and you're actually losing money there. You say, okay, I got to harvest, I got to trim, so they're going to be selling some out. It's going to be risk off. Perfect, because if you don't have it on like we cashed out, we're going to be looking to put things back on, and that's what the group does, and that's what we've been doing for a while. When I say a while, I don't mean for a week. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, and you can see we'll show you the returns. That's just an example. Talk about metals, talk about risk, talk about what to anticipate. That's why this is a very different show this Saturday than we've made since we've been doing this, because I think people have to make adjustments. We're prepared. We are prepared. But if you're not, you may want to join this group, even if you join for a couple of weeks, just to see how we recognize this. People are going to be reactive to this. We have been proactive. All right, we'll go over a couple of questions because I got a lot more to go over.
All right, so we have some comments here. Some people are saying you're lucky because of the Trump announcement. Johnny, I think he's a part of the group. He says, no, Joe wasn't lucky. He's a veteran trader and was setting up for weeks for a downturn.
Okay. You think it's luck? Okay, that's fine. We've been preparing. We've been talking about it. And I'll tell you something right now. If you're on the wrong side of this and I'm on the right side of this, does it make a difference whether it's lucky or not? We're not here to pin stars on each other. We're here to make money. Okay, and that's what we're going to show you. We could figure out how to make money here, and now it's starting to work. So you can say anything you want, anything you do, anything news that moves the markets. What influences it? Luck, math, science. Say whatever you want. The numbers don't lie.
All right, we have a question from Arturo. Thoughts on crude here?
Crude, oil, big. That's what we're just going to talk about. So next we're going to talk about because oil we think is range bound. Okay, and now you've blown through the range because it's risk off. So now you got to watch yourself. And our opinion is oil's still going to hold it around here. Okay, you know you get these extensions when they go up, and we think oil is here. I'm going to try to do this correctly. I use two fingers. Now this is the book not working. We think oil is going to be around here for a while. Okay, we think oil is going to be there. So when it gets to these extensions, like it does here, out of the range, comes back in. Extensions down here, out of the range, is going to come right back in. So we're going to be looking down here next week. We're going to have areas. It doesn't mean we're going to buy oil. Maybe we're looking at gasoline or heating oil. Maybe we'll look at crude oil. We'll look at both. We're going to look at the equities that we trade. So I think this is an extension down, but the fundamentals, which I'm able to read through future spreads, if they're there, then this will be like one of these, and then we consolidate and bounce. So we're in a buy mode in the oil sector down here.
Adam is saying, will gasoline futures be similar?
Yes. Gasoline and crude oil, yes. We think gasoline actually probably could go a little lower from here. We have gasoline futures on. We had heating oil futures. We sold one. We kept the other. We have ConocoPhillips on. We had ExxonMobil. We got out of ExxonMobil. We kept Conoco. Okay, we keep a little bit on, and that's the way we trade. It's been working.
All right. Next question. Johnny, PAS and silver, please.
Yes. Silver is doing something different, and there's no way that people are going to recognize this. The only reason why I recognize this, I've been doing silver since the mid 80s. Okay, and what I'm seeing, I'm talking to people who are the silver experts on this planet, who've been my friends for decades. And they give me their input, and I'm giving them mine, and they are not seeing what I'm seeing. I think silver is getting ready to go. And I don't think it's a silver I'm going to point to now. I think this is the silver that you put in your hands. Okay? It's going to set up even better because of what's going on in the overall environment. So I think silver could pull back, and then when it goes the next time, that's the metal I think that's going to go parabolic. We've been talking about this for the last few weeks. We said either gold, silver, platinum, or palladium. One of them are going to go parabolic and expose precious metals. The more and more I think about it, especially the way this week is working, I think it's going to be silver. So I like silver.
All right. So some questions about buying physical silver.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Would you buy physical silver at this price?
Physical silver at this price, I would start to buy it. Okay, but you got to watch how you buy it. I've just been on a bunch of calls because you can buy silver at Walmart and you're paying, 10, 15% over the spot price of silver. So it's a lot. Okay, when silver's $5 an ounce or $10 an ounce, 10% is another dollar. When it's $50 an ounce, it's $5. $5 an ounce is a lot to pay over. So you got to know where you're getting it from. Okay, I have my own ways. But now think about it. Silver's at an all-time high in physical silver. And you got to pay higher than that to get it. So you got to be a little prudent here.
All right. Let's see what other questions we have. We have questions. How about wheat?
Wheat we're worried about. Okay, we have a wheat position on. It's not working, and it didn't hold the areas that I thought it would hold. So we got to watch. I still think inevitably when wheat has one turn, the one turn is going to be a big turn. But we've been accumulating on the way down, and it's not working very well. It didn't close well. Probably feels like it's going to go down a little more next week. What we need is a rejection. If we get a rejection, we should be okay.
All right. How about we take a look at the gold chart making all-time highs?
All-time highs, and that's not even the one you got to pay attention to. 4,000 wasn't even a number, but now it's doing a lot of work around both sides of 4,000. In my opinion, this gold can pull back, in my opinion, okay? Because everything, I think, is going to pull back. So this can easily pull back down around here, and we're going to be looking at gold equities down here to buy them, okay? We've been getting bearish signals in gold equities for about a week now, and the gold equities have kind of stopped. Gold kept going, but gold equities have stopped. Now, there's a very different story going on in gold right now, and this is historic, okay? I can't even compare it to something. I just understand a little bit more about the science of gold and others because I've been doing this my whole life. I'm no magician here. If you do, I'm sure everybody's an expert at something or very good at something. I've been exposed to it for decades, so I should know it. First of all, if I don't know it, I'm a moron because at this point in my life, I should. Gold is something very different going on, and it's not because of the price of gold. It's because the planet is looking at gold. So when you start to do the math and the science, you got to look at gold very different. If you belong to the group, we explain it to the group.
All right. Next question here. David Rowler's asked about MOS.
Yes, that's it. Fertilizer's on our radar screen. Okay, we think fertilizer is going to pull back to a nice area, and we're patient on this. This has been, think about it. We caught this. We caught this twice. We bought fertilizer here. We sold our fertilizer here. We bought fertilizer here. We sold our fertilizer here. And now look at it. When we don't have it on. The best part of these trades is having them on and then not having them on. That's the best part of this. Okay, that's why we say we are not investors, we're traders. If you're an investor and you're long MOS here, okay, you watched all this, and where are you? You're right back where you started. That's what investors do. I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we just think these are trading market opportunities. So we're looking at MOS and we're waiting. I have areas that I'm looking, the group is going to be a part of it, where we're going to be looking to buy fertilizer. It's going to be MOS. We just have our own spots and we will let the group know. But great question, but you see my scenario? The difference between an investor and a trader? That's your perfect scenario right here.
Hassan is asked about, what about soybeans?
Soybeans are in the same category as wheat and corn. The only thing different is the problems with the tariffs are going to be there's no deal between China and the U.S. in soybeans. So soybeans can probably go lower from here. And then we're going to see what they're still going to go into a good value area. So we're okay with that.
Okay, Ken's asking a question. Why, when risk off on equities, is there risk off on commodities needed to exist?
Everything is risk off because commodities, especially the speculative ones that break through areas, that's people like you're in a casino when you made money on the blackjack tables. Now you want to play roulette, you want to play craps and all that. That's what this is. So people say, I want a little silver because they read about it. I want a little gold. They want to be in the speculative commodities because you get leverage. So those are people that are going to get hurt a little bit. They're going to say, trim me down.
Hassan said, Joe, thanks for a lot of all your navigations last week. It saved us all.
Wow, yeah, last week we did a lot of navigating. We did. And at the end of the week, you could say to yourself, we made a few dollars. And meanwhile, you go look, you say, this was probably our best week of the year because we made a few dollars and everybody got, what we say, pasted. Good, I'm glad it helped.
Okay, so those are our questions right now.
All right, let's show a quick where we stand. Okay, just to give you guys an idea. Okay, right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is no joke. This is where we stand for the year. Actually, it's a little lower, okay, because what we have on, we're around 230% for the year. 230%, all on trades like this: commodities, resources. Okay, you don't see any big names on here. We stick to what we know. You name the commodity, it's on here. Okay, that's what obviously we're very active. 420 trades this year. We got positions on now, and we want to know something. Our positions now, we have, if you look at the dollar amount, our risk, we have more dollars at risk being short than long. That's the edge. You know what the edge is? This not going from 250 to 100 because we have balance. We've always had balance. That's how we've been making money. And now we have even more balance because everybody's all in, and what they made all the way up, they can get back in a week. And if you have a couple of bad days, Monday and Tuesday, people are going to get back this summer. They're going to get back this spring because you have to have the emotional side to make a decision. That's where we stand. You want to join?
Yep.
Right? RNTR Trading, guys. You get access to webinars with Guy Adami, live trade alerts. Every trade alert, I let you guys know what I'm doing. I don't recommend anything. I'm just telling you, looking over my shoulder. Fundamentals, in-depth, midday clips, non-stop commentary, Q&A from the group. You get all of this, and that's what it is. My opinion is, if you're a little uncomfortable now and you have to adjust your navigation, this is worth getting in now. You know what? If you say, listen, I joined for a month, and I say to myself, okay, now I was able to avoid this mess because that's what we're going to be trying to do. And then you say, okay, that's what it cost you? You're kidding me. I signed up 1,000 times for that. Okay, that's a navigation course. This is more like an insurance course. If you don't know how to drive from 30 miles an hour to 130, because that's what the market's going to be next week. The speed limit's going to go from 30 to 130. If you know how to do it, you don't need anybody. But if you don't know how to do it, you want someone to be like, when you go in the car and there's two people driving with a driving school, well, maybe that's what we'll show you. And you don't have to listen to me. You join, ask the group and tell them what we think. Everything I'm telling you is right here, totally transparent. It might be worth it for you. Okay,
All right.
looking good.
We're good.
All right, listen, guys, we'll be back Friday at 8 a.m. If it gets real busy, we'll send out a post saying, guys, you know what? Maybe we're going to be Wednesday at 8 a.m. Maybe we're going to be Tuesday at 8 a.m. because the markets are getting a little busy. I don't want you guys to wait all week, okay? But as right now, I'll see you on Friday at 8 a.m.